Cy here! So I sent a box of driftwood to Robert with RC Works, and he is sending me a box from Colorado. My box from RC Works came, yay! And it's full of wood, because we're doing a collab. Woohoo! So, I am going to be making this log truck. Cool! Alright, so I've never made anything like this before, and it's going to be kind of fun. And I'm going to use the wood from RC Works. And I went and bought a bunch of dowels, and just going to try making it. Yeah, it says it needs a whole bunch of things like wheels and axle pegs and all that. I'll just deal with that when I come to it. I'm excited. So I looked the plans over and started cutting some wood to make some pieces. Well, this logging truck pattern is 5 pages, and they were double-sided. So I printed off 2 of them so that I can make all 5 pages. And so I could see and work off of all 5 pages at the same time. At first I was going to use the bandsaw and cut out all 18 of the tires, and then I asked husband if we had any hole saws large enough, and we did! So I cut those out. It was a pain to get them out of the hole saw each time, but it was a lot better than cutting them out by hand. Then I sanded them only a little because it looked like tire tread. Then husband helped me drill the wheel part of them. We did 16 of them this way. The front 2 wheels of the tires are different from the rest. He was a great help, and we got it done in no time. Thanks, Hub!
You're welcome!
I also did a lot of resawing with the Laguna, and it worked really well, especially for those 1/4-inch pieces it called for. As I was cutting the pieces for this one page, I saw that they were all one section of the truck, so I just put it together. I ended up making my own axle pegs and axle caps, and I have since learned that these can be purchased. I saw them in the Woodcraft store a few weeks ago. And that is the back half of the truck trailer. Then I continued cutting out the pieces. Some of them had their dimensions next to their picture on the page, but some didn't, so I measured and cut them. A few pieces called for drilling into them, and at first I was doing that with the drill, but later I went to the drill press, and that was so much better, especially like here when I'm trying to drill all the way through with the hand drill. These gas tanks were supposed to have ridges on the sides, but for some reason I couldn't get that cut to work, so they're just plain. Only a few dowels did I have to drill all the way through them. That was tough. I used carbon paper to trace this fancy piece that goes behind the cab. And since I was in Prineville, I didn't have my scroll saw handy, so I cut it out with the bandsaw. I had used blue tape as a clamp after I glued it all together. These little tiny pieces are part of the mirrors. I also used my spindle sander since my other sander is a Newport and worked on the front wheels. I guesstimated where to put the holes in all of the wheels, and I figured out if I use the drill in reverse and go back into the drilled holes, it acts like a sander. So I worked here and there on the remaining 3 pages of parts, measuring, sawing, cutting, and drilling, and I ended up altering things along the way, especially drill sizes and dowel sizes. I also used the orbital sander some after I got an injury from the spindle sander. Just a little sanding of the wrist, but a band-aid made it all better so I could sand these small pieces for the roof. The horns are golf tees. The pattern suggested it, and I was able to find some. I had to use the bandsaw for the grill and then glued the bottom piece back in. Here I am shaping the headlights and making the gear shift. And I cut a dowel for the steering wheel and glued those pieces together. Okay, husband and I made this table last night, a workbench. So I'm gonna put the truck on the table. Yeah, maybe put it all together, I'm hoping today. Yay! Alrighty, I've laid out all 5 sheets of the plan. Okay, that's all of the parts, I think, and I hope. And now I'm just gonna put it together. Okay, here it goes. You take this. should have drilled the hole for the steering wheel first. Rats. Oh well. I am not going to do any more there until that is nice and set up to dry. But we can move over here. Yay! This would have been so much easier to do without this stuff glued on there. I'm going to make a little note on my directions there to make sure to do this before putting it together. So I'm going to try this. Hopefully it works. Yay! Woo! Yeah! Yay! Figured out that this picture is the log truck. It's just without the logs. I have a bunch of sap on my hands because I was logging earlier. So this is this thing, and it goes up like this for when it's not hauling logs. Cool! So when it is hauling logs, there. So those logs are 27 inches long, about-ish. Yeah. This was a collaboration project with Robert from RC Works, and he sent me all of this blue pine, and then I bought some dowels. But I sent him a bunch of driftwood, and so you should jump on over to his channel and see the toy that he made. And I have a link down in the description box directly to his channel and his video. So thanks for joining me, everybody. This was a lot of fun, and we'll see you next time. Bye!